Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports.
Coach, thanks. Located appropriately for his career win total at 347 Don Shula Drive. There's a look at Hard Rock Stadium here in Miami, Florida. Today, we're set for a good AFC matchup between the Baltimore Ravens and the Miami Dolphins. Justin Tucker set to boom this one away. And we are underway from Hard Rock Stadium. This is taken at the 3. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. So here come the Dolphins now as they get set to take over on offense. Leading them out is going to be their quarterback. That's the grizzled vet, Ryan Fitzpatrick.
One thing that I think Ryan Fitzpatrick doesn't get enough credit for is his toughness. This is a guy who plays through injuries, but it's also being mentally tough, knowing that everyone's always trying to move him out of the lineup, trying to find a replacement for him, yet he continues to battle and has earned the total respect of his teammates.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. A bad start there, a big loss on their first play from scrimmage. It's second down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a second down and 17. Off the play fake here, Fitzpatrick. Going deep here for Parker. Oh, he was looking for Parker, but it's intercepted. Picked off here by Jimmy Smith. Parker unable to get that one. Well, not a good omen there. His first throw of the afternoon, intercepted.
And I know what the fans are thinking right now. I hope there's not negative thoughts in his head going forward since that's his first throw of the game. But one of the things I remember about him coming out of school is he's able to wipe things away pretty easily and move on.
Baltimore coming back out here on offense. Charles, unfortunately for the Ravens this year, it just feels like a failure. Yes, the 14 wins in the regular season, but that divisional round loss to Tennessee, such a shocker, really stunned everybody in the NFL.
It certainly did, and I know exactly what you're saying when you say it feels like a failure, yet you don't want to say it, do you?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it just feels wrong to say that, but let's face it, the bottom line is getting to the ultimate prize. And when you're 14-2 in the regular season, you're the #1 seed in the AFC, and you lose at home in your first playoff game, it will feel like a failure, and hopefully that'll motivate them going forward. But I think part of it is they didn't need to play Week 17, and they pulled a lot of starters. So now that week is gone where you don't play. You get the open week, right? You end up getting essentially 2 more. It's too long for them sitting, and I think it hurt their timing and maybe their edge.
But tell me if you agree. That's caught inside the 20. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Willie Snead, 53 yards, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. And that time, he came out of the slot for that big play downfield for the score.
I think what we just saw there, partner, was what we call scheming a guy open. Put him in the slot, know that he has tremendous speed. What you're doing with your other receivers is likely running shorter routes to draw the attention closer to the line of scrimmage, to give him a chance to get downfield and turn it into a one-on-one route, often against the safety. You like your odds when he's running against the safety. His speed usually wins, and it did on that play.
Justin Tucker for the extra point. And the Ravens lead at 7-0. The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And it's capped off with a Ravens touchdown. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Miami's offense takes the field again. You think about their 2019 season, it might be the rare overachieving 5-11 label that you give them. You know, you look at it, everybody...
How do you overachieve at 5-11?
Because look at what they were dealing with, and then they kind of cleared the cupboard, but ended up getting 5 wins, including the one that kept New England from getting a first-round bye in Week 17.
I like the case you just made. You brought me over to the other side on that. Actually, I was just busting your chops. I'm absolutely with you on that. That is an overachieving 5-11 team. If you looked at that roster and the beginning of the season and even throughout and said,
and he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Willie Henry muscled his way in for the sack.
Well, we knew this guy wasn't especially fleet of foot, but he tried to conjure up some escapability, but there was no way he was getting away on that one.
So now after the sack, 3rd and long, and Fitzpatrick and company a little work to do.
Let's go, let's bring it.
3rd and long for Ryan Fitzpatrick. And that is incomplete. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
And no return possible here as they angle this one out of bounds. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. They have to be thrilled with that first drive that got them the touchdown. Now they'll be looking to make it a 2-score advantage here on the road.
And you know they spent all week in practice, in meetings, talking about taking an early advantage. Being the
Jackson hit, and he lost the football. And this is picked up by the Dolphins. And his guys are going to get the football at their own 47-yard line. He had gained really good yardage. That's what you tell your quarterbacks, right? Get down after you got the run.
You don't have to prove your toughness. You know, I think that's what a lot of coaches are trying to preach to their guys. Get the yardage, get down, protect the football, and protect yourself from extra hits as well.
It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. From the gun, Fitzpatrick. It's complete to Drake. And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47. The Ravens bring out an extra defensive back here on 3rd.
Oh, yeah. And here we go.
From the shotgun, it's Fitzpatrick. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. And out of bounds, sailed over, looked like right near the pylon. This one's going to be perfect. Directional kicking at its finest, right down at the 1-yard line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And a bit of a daunting task here for this offense as they'll start out at the 1-yard line.
I guess you could easily say there's a whole lot of real estate in front of them if they want to achieve their goal, which is get to the other end zone.
And 99 yards to go if they want to do just that. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a 1st down.
Well, that was man coverage. So once he decides to run with the football, there's no one to account for him, and he turns it into a nice gain.
Now it's Jackson. It's caught by Mark Ingram. And he works it across the 25 before being tackled. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. This drive starts with 2 steps forward and now 1 back. A pair of 1st downs, and here a loss of yardage. So after the loss of 2, here's 2nd and 12 from the 23. Here's Jackson. Looking for Snead, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Rashad Jones. And he brings it back to right around the 26-yard line.
Well, that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team.
On first down, Drake. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down. And here are the Raven defensive starters.
Earl Thomas has the speed, quickness, and skills to be a cornerback in the NFL, and I think he would have been a good one. But playing in the middle of this field as a free safety, I think he's the best eraser in the NFL. Takes care of any mistakes that happen in front of him and hardly ever lets anything get over his head.
On second down now, it's Drake, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up third down. The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is third and long. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. On play action, Fitzpatrick. He's going to go up top for the end zone. And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Brandon, this is a veteran quarterback back there. He should know better than to make a throw like this. This is definitely not his best ball, and I think he knew this was trouble the second it was leaving his hand.
This Ravens offense heads back out there, led by Lamar Jackson. He's got the lead here in the second quarter. He's thrown the touchdown, but also an interception. As a quarterback, is that interception, even though you're playing while your team's got the lead, does that always stick in the back of your mind a little bit?
For the best ones, it just upsets them that they did that because they don't think there should be any blemishes on their record. They think that they're way better than that. So your confidence gets tested a little bit. Being able to go back out there, maybe throw another touchdown, that'll tamp that down in a big way.
Yeah, because he's looked pretty good to this point. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. No gain there as he kept it himself at second down. They'll fake the give to Ingram. Now Jackson. And this one complete to Seth Roberts. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Seth Roberts, 64 yards as the Ravens push further out in front. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
John Harbaugh thought about it, and now his guys are going to go for the two-point conversion. Here's Jackson to throw. Flush to his right. And he will get into the end zone to extend the lead by 2 more. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Chris Wormley in there to get him. It's a loss of 5.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. So now after the sack, 3rd and long, and Fitzpatrick and company a little work to do.
Hey, alert 48. Hey, we gonna make the 48.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Fitzpatrick. That's caught by his big tight end, Mike Gesicki. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. It'll go as an impressive 31-yard gain. So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. Play fake. It's Fitzpatrick. That's complete to his tight end, Mike Gesicki. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. It'll be a pickup of 16 and a Dolphin first down. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
It'll be a gain of 5, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and about 7 left. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Fans, a reminder, I have a note card here that says ad-lib halftime previews. So I guess let's do just that as we'll hand things over to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando when this one reaches halftime. Will I do okay?
You did great. Not a bad job.
Hey.
Writing down your ad-libs.
If you print it, I'm going to read it. I'm Brandon Goddard. First foray into the red zone for Miami. 1st and 10 right at the 20. And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
And he's only going to get a yard from the 20 to the 19. Just a 1-yard pickup on the play, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down. Here's Fitzpatrick.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Sanders' kick is good. And they're on the board now. It's 15-3. So the field goal there caps what winds up to be an 11-play drive.
Well, partner, that's a lot of offense to run there to only get 3 points. I just wonder, are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of the playbook trying to find ones that get you into the end zone, get you 6?
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. You've got under a minute to go here until halftime. You got the good-sized lead. No need to do anything crazy.
No, there really is no need to do anything crazy. The smart play, go ahead and take your lead into the locker room and then try and add to it in the second half. But there's a part of me that looks at this and says, first half going my way, I have a little bit of a cushion. Let's go ahead and try and extend things. If you've got some good plays drawn up, you might want to think about them right here.
And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. The Ravens going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 45 seconds to go in the first half.
So don't say nothing.
Jackson on 1st down. Got a man. It's Brown. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Marquise Brown, 51 yards as the Ravens push further out in front.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that can finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. And now they'll empty the backfield here as they elect to go for 2. To throw again is Jackson. And he's got it. So the try for two successful, and that bumps their lead up even further. And around the goal line, especially on two-point tries, sometimes the QB's best friend is that big target, the tight end.
I love how you described it because you know he's going to have some length and some catch radius as well as a big body to keep people away from the football.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And you're under a minute to go in the half, a first half that hasn't been particularly kind to you. How do you think they'll play this?
Well, I think the smart approach is to run out the clock, lick your wounds at the half, and see if you can come up with a strategy to play better in the second. But there's also something to challenging your offense right here. You know, hey, guys, you help dig this hole. See if you can get us out of it a little bit before the half runs out. Let's go make some plays.
And a quick throw here. That's complete. The Dolphins going to take their second timeout as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves them with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Fitzpatrick to throw it. On the right side, open is Gesicki. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46.
If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though, huh?
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. Hey, kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. So a couple of first downs on this drive, but it's looking like another empty possession.
And those empty possessions are certainly starting to pile up. So the adjustments that teams talk about all the time have to be taking place. They've got to analyze what's breaking down and figure a way to fix it.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout called. Jackson now over 200 yards already in this first half. It's 1st and 10. On the counter, Ingram. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. And okay, so much for our halftime break. Apparently we're going to get right back to it. The Ravens ready to receive it. And they've got the lead as well as we resume play in the second half. This fielded at the 2. And an alley to run. Defenders giving chase, but I don't think they're going to get there. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. That kick return TD is 98 yards in length as the Ravens push further out in front. And you've used the phrase with me before, pressing the kicking game. What exactly does that mean? Because they did it there.
It means focusing on it, all aspects of it, because it's the third part of the game. Offense, defense, special teams. If you press the kicking game, create an advantage, make a big play, it often leads to victory.
Tucker able to connect on the extra point. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. So now the other return teams out there as they'll try to duplicate what they just saw. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here are the Dolphins now. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is a really, I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them.
Give me that ball, defense.
On 3rd down, Fitzpatrick. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And they will finally get him, but not until he's all the way down inside the 15-yard line. He was looking for Parker that time. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
And now here come the Ravens.
Here we go. Here we go. 470 ending. Three buzz.
After the interception, here's Jackson. Got a man, it's caught for a Ravens touchdown. Nick Boyle there to make the grab. And the Ravens have used the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. Well, what a quick turnaround there. They get the football. Next play, boom, touchdown.
I've been in a situation before where a turnover occurs, and if you're over on the bench with your defensive mate and you talk about what to do on your next series, and all of a sudden you hear sudden change, you've got to get out on the field and defend right away. Not everyone is mentally prepared to go.
Is that what is yelled on the sidelines a lot of times?
That, among other things.
Maybe some words we can't share here.
Yeah, we'll just keep this one PG.
FCC violation.
No doubt.
Oh, boy, rubbing a little salt in the wound there, going for 2 up this big.
You know, there's one time when I played, Brandon, and played against a team that was just absolutely pile driving us, and they ended up going for 2 late in the game. And I asked one of the guys, why'd you do that? He said, because we wanted to win by more. That feels like that type of situation.
Wow. Well, it could also result in a melee later, though. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. That's fielded in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point.
Mike 48. Watch the run. Watch the run.
On third down, Fitzpatrick, space to maneuver at the 40. Throwing middle, and it's complete. 18 big yards on that one, and a Miami first.
Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do, you got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end, take some easier completions.
Yeah, interception last drive. There he hits the reliable target. Fitzpatrick throwing complete to Stills. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. On second down, it's Drake, and they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play, and that's going to lead to a third down.
Watch the slant.
Fitzpatrick now from the 50. He'll set up the screen to Drake. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. Call it a loss of 2 on the play, and that's going to make it fourth down.
I love the intelligence the defense just showed there. Read their keys, saw the screen developing, ran to it, and smothered it. What a third down stop by them.
They'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline. And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because What you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 27 yards there, a first down. So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory at the 46. Jackson throwing here complete to Boyle. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That's now a pair of explosive plays in succession, both north of 20 yards. Under a minute to go in this third quarter as they come up 1st and 10. This is Ingram on 1st and 10. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet.
Jackson hit, and he lost the football. And this is picked up by the Dolphins. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
Back now in Miami. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. On 1st and 10, Fitzpatrick. He's got it. The tight end, Allen. A good gain of 9 before he's brought down at the 28.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. The Dolphins on 3rd down. They're hitting at just 30%, 3 for 10. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. Fitzpatrick now. And the throw there going to be incomplete. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he? And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure, the backside being ball hawks and picking passes off. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And the Ravens, they'll take over. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. This ball game certainly has gotten a little out of hand. This is normally when they say you got to fill. This is fill time for guys like you and I. But, yeah, to be frank, just a dominating performance. Really impressive what we've seen.
It is, and I'm glad that you went in that direction, because otherwise we're going to talk about the museum tour we took yesterday.
Which was also impressive.
Which was also very impressive. But this game, how they've done it, offense, defense, special teams, they put it all together. And I got to tell you, I am beyond impressed by what I've seen from this team.
They'll wind up with positive yardage. It's a gain of 3, but now it's 3rd down. He may try and run for this. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first. Only a yard there on the keeper, but that's all he needed. 1st down.
And what a weapon to have when you can use your quarterback as a short yardage runner and pick up 1st downs.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. They run. It's Mark Ingram. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 12 yards to pick up there. Good for a Raven first. Another example of this offense really having their way, Charles, and another big chunk play there on the ground.
And when you look at the defense, they've got to do a much better job of wrapping up when they tackle. A lot of great opportunities continue to slip through their fingers, as do the runners.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. They run from the pistol with Ingram. And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
And he's got Snead. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line. Tackled there.
Let's go!
When you have someone throwing it that well, that confidently, you don't have to call the game in fear at all, do you? You just go ahead and play.
Yep, confidence with a lead to throw it here in the fourth, and boom, he's on the money.
Yeah, you don't have to tuck your head in and go like turtle at this point. You can just go ahead and play.
And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got two more to use here in the final stages. So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. Only a yard on the keeper, and it'll be second down.
1-yard gain brings up second and 9 at the 10-yard line.
Jackson hit, and he lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. And Tucker's kick right there. It's good. And they're well on their way now as the lead grows even larger. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the fourth.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in a game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
It'll be a pickup of 16 and a Dolphin first. And now on the pitch, the ball's loose. And it's picked up by the Ravens. He's at the 50. He's at the 30. 10. And that should just about do it. They return it to the end zone, sealing it with a defensive touchdown. And he has great speed, defensive back speed. Once he got it and took off, there was no catching him.
And I know every team tells you to hustle no matter what the play, but there was no chance of catching him. Maybe if it had been a defensive tackle running with the ball, but not in this case.
Now Tucker to add the PAT. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there, grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. Fielded about a yard deep. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20. First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it because...
You're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want...